Hi, I'm Ivan from WebWash, and in this video, I will show you how to set up Twitter cards on your Drupal site using the Metatag module. Now, for people who don't know, Twitter cards are used to attach rich assets to tweets. And the way Twitter generates these Twitter cards is by scraping your site when you link to it in a tweet, and it will search for specific meta tags on your site. That is why you need to use the Metatag module to set up Twitter cards. So in this video, I will show you how to use meta tags as well as the specific submodule for Twitter cards. So sit back and let's get to work. So here is my sandbox Drupal site, and the only thing I've done is I have created this test article, and if we edit it, you can see the title is test article. We have a bunch of random text in the body field. And if we scroll down, you can see that I have uploaded an image into the image field, and that is it. And let's now configure the Metatag module so that if we were to link to this page, it'll create a Twitter card using the Metatag values. So to download the module, I will jump over into my terminal and I will type in the following command: composer require Drupal/Metatag. The module has a single dependency on token, and you can see that it's been downloaded, but chances are you already have token installed. Now you may notice that I am using a different development environment, and the reason for this is because I need the site to be publicly accessible so I can test the Twitter card features. And for this, I'm using a service called Gitpod, which allows you to spin up full development environments in the cloud, which means my site is then publicly accessible. Now, Gitpod isn't sponsoring this video. They haven't paid me any money. I've just been using their services for this video, and the system is pretty good. So if you want to learn more about their service, just head over to gitpod.io. So now that we have downloaded the required modules, let's go back to our Drupal site and then go to extend. And if you search for Metatag, you'll see the main Metatag module, which you can check, and then scroll down and check Metatag Twitter cards, and then click on install. And then just click on continue because it will install the token module. Once everything's been installed, go to configuration, and then under search and metadata, click on Metatag. And from this page, you can see all of the default configurations. The default configurations are loaded in a specific order. So if we click on content, you can see that the meta tags from global are inherited, but this title value will override the title set in the global configuration, because up here in global, you can see that the title is pulling in the current page token, but in the content area, it is using the node title. But this content default is used for all content types, which isn't ideal. So let's now create one just for the article content type. So let's scroll up and then click on add default meta tags. And from the type dropdown, select article under content and then click on save. And then if we scroll down below content, we should see this content article. This means any configuration here will only be used on the article content type. And straight away you can see meta tag values from global and content are also inherited. So let's go ahead and configure this article content type configuration. So click on edit and then click on Twitter cards to expand the options. And then from the Twitter card type dropdown, you can select what Twitter card should be used. In this example, we'll use summary card with large image. So I'll select that. And now what we need to do is we need to add in tokens into specific fields right here. So the first one will be description, and let's enter in the node summary token into the description field. So to add tokens, just scroll to the top, click on browse available tokens, and this pop-up can be a little fiddly. So let's just move it to the side. And let's scroll down, and it doesn't scroll down with us, which is a little annoying. So let's move this down. And to add a token into a specific field, just add the cursor into the field and then click on nodes and let's search for summary. So let's add in the node : summary. Then for the site's Twitter account, I'll just put in webwash.net, but you can put in any Twitter account. And then for title, we'll use the standard node title token, which I know off by heart. And then if we scroll further down, and let me move this little pop-up because we will need it. Then for page title, we'll need node : URL. And then for the image URL, if we look at the tokens, let's expand the image token right here. And what we need to do is just grab this token right here. So node : field _ image, because that is the field name for the image field. So add the cursor into image URL and then just click on field image. And the last thing we'll do is we'll configure the alternative text. So select image alternative text and then click on node : field _ image : alt. And then if we scroll all the way down and then click on save. So now at this point, we have configured the Twitter tags. Let's just test everything out. So let's go to content, test article. And of course, nothing changes here. So we'll need to right click and then click on view source. And straight away, you can see the Twitter card meta tags. The first one is Twitter : card, which has summary large image that specifies the Twitter card type. And then we have one for description, site, title, the image alternative text, and also a direct path to the image which will be used. So if we grab this URL, we should be able to go directly to the image. So let me open up a new tab. And here you can see we have direct access to the image. Now, one thing I should mention, if you can't see these Twitter cards when you view the page source and you're certain you have configured everything perfectly, you may have to rebuild the site cache. So to do that, all you need to do is go to configuration, then performance, and click on clear all caches. And then after that, you should see the Twitter card values. Okay, so now that we know that the Twitter card values are appearing in our page source, let's validate those values using a tool from Twitter. So Twitter does have this tool, which is a card validator. Now, just a heads up, you do need a Twitter account to access this page, but if you Google Twitter card validator, you will find this page. Now, to validate the meta tag values, all we need to do is grab a URL to a page. So let me go back to this page and grab this URL. And then if I come here and add it into this field and then click on preview card, Twitter will go off and scrape your site and look for those Twitter card meta tag values. And then using those values, they will generate this card. And straight away, you can see that it is pulling in the featured image, the title, description, and also the URL. Now, if I was to change this to another path, which I know doesn't exist, it will say no meta tags found. Let's go back to our Drupal site. And so far in this video, we have been using the image field directly on the article content type. But now I want to show you how to configure Twitter cards to use an image from a media field. Because if you are building a brand new Drupal site, you should use a media field instead of an image field, which is directly on the content type. The biggest benefit of using a media field is that it allows you to reuse images across multiple content types without having to re-upload the same image into multiple fields. So to show you how to use a media field, let's first go ahead and create a media field. But before we do that, you want to make sure that you have installed the media module and also media library module. Now, both of these modules come with Drupal core and they are stable. So I highly recommend that you have them installed. So once you've installed these modules, then go to Structure, Content Types, and click on Manage Fields on the article content type, and then Add Field. And from the Add a New Field dropdown, scroll down to the reference section, and you should see Media. Click on it, and then in the label field, enter in the name of the field. In this example, I'll call it Featured Image, but you can call it whatever you want. And then just click on Save and Continue. Leave everything on this page as it is, and then click on Save Field Settings. Then on this page, scroll down to the reference type section and select Image under Media Type, and then click on Save Settings. Now that we've added the media field, let's go to Content and edit our test article. Then if we scroll down, we should see the Featured Image Media field. Click on Add Media. And because we have the Media Library module installed, it gives us this nice pop-up where we can upload a new file, or we can select a pre-existing image. Now, this image I uploaded before I started recording, so I'll just select this one and then click on Insert Selected. And straight away, you can see the benefit of using the media field. We can reuse this image across any content type which is using a media field. So now that we have selected an image in our media field, scroll down and click on Save. Now let's go back to configuration, because we need to change the meta tag configuration, and then go to meta tag, and let's edit the content article default. And then if we scroll down to image URL and also image alternative text, what we need to do is we need to change this so that it is using a different token. So I will scroll up and click on Browse Available Tokens. And let me grab this. This pop-up is a little tricky to grab sometimes, and also scroll at the same time. And then if I expand this available tokens pop-up, then click on Nodes, and we should see featured image right here. And then let's drill down into this token. And the token that we want is, and you can see that there are a lot of available tokens. That is this one right here, image. And then add the cursor into image URL, and then click on this image token. Now for the image alternative text, you may notice that we can't actually see a token for it, but we can easily figure it out, because if we copy this, all we need to do is add in a colon, alt at the end. And this will automatically grab the alternative text on the image field, which is on the image media type. And then let's close all of this. Let's make sure image URL is there, and also image alternative text is there as well. And let's scroll down and click on Save. Now, if we go to Content and then Test Article, if we view the page source, I know for a fact that this image and alternative text is still the old one. So to fix this issue, all we need to do is rebuild the site cache. So to do that, let's go to Configuration, Performance, and then Clear Caches. Because if we grab this URL and open up a new tab and go to it, it looks like the old featured image. But if we refresh, you can see that the alternative text has the word media in front, and the file name also has media here as well. So if we grab this URL, the featured image should have the word media in red. There we go. So I did that on purpose just to make sure that we are pulling in the correct image. So here you can see in red that it says media field. So this is the correct image, but it's important to remember that every single time you make changes to the meta tag configuration, make sure you rebuild the site cache. So now that we know that the HTML has changed, let's just validate the values using the card validator from Twitter. So let's jump back to this tab and let me change this path because I know it was node/1. And then if we click on preview card, you can see that the new featured image is being displayed. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about Drupal, WordPress, or any other technology, just head over to webwash.net, and also don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time.